Hello, welcome to DC Vigilante. Right, now, before you go on there, I just made a video called being the biggest biased DC fan, and I went on and say, is there such a thing as biased, or can you not just like or dislike something, So anyway, I won't get bother back into that. But as I make these videos, I try to get my points out, and how I do that is by just grabbing a phone and speaking what's on my mind at the time, right, to let it all out. Now, I don't sit and think about it. I don't orchestrate it in any way, putting it on paper, making notes and everything else. And for the majority of us, sometimes it's hard to get what we feel and what we want to say out there. Some people revert to writing, and as writers are trying to put their thoughts and ideas on a paper, they make changes along the way and they go back and they redo it, and that's not how I want that bit said. But there are people out there that have got that talent, that can put themselves across quite well, and they spend most of the time investigating and remembering who said what and who's responsible for this and that, and they do the reporting that way, and it sticks with them. And two of the top YouTubers, I would say, that do a lot more investigation would be Chris Wong from Flippic Films or something, and they own Film Gob, who is another local from Scotland, and like myself. And it's very hard when you're surrounded by people that just go to the cinema and don't know their knowledge. So it would be great to talk to somebody that stays around where I stay and know the background to what's happening in the comic book movies, i.e., Avengers Endgame, was it a rip-off of Zack Snyder's Justice League and everything else, and Boys, and the Snyder Cut and everything. So it's great, but for the majority of us, the only way we get to express that is by connecting to people on YouTube or on Facebook. So when I'm trying to explain this stuff to people, the public, when they start talking to me about Marvel or whatever, then I'll tell them about it. And what I'll do then is I'll go and find somebody that's more descriptive than me. I'll find things on YouTube and I'll send it to them. Now, the only kick in the pants for that is they believe that I'm listening to these guys or girls or whatever it is, and I'm just swallowing up what they're saying, but it's not. I'm actually finding people that have got similar views than I do, and that's why you subscribe to people and why you do this guy when they say something that you don't like. So I could easily, quite simply, just give you the link to this video, but I want my channel, for me, this channel's really for myself, especially because I'm not going to get up to like 100 odd likes or 1,000 likes or subscribers. But what it will be for me is like a legacy for years to come. Once I've gone and bit the bullet, my kids or my grandkids or whatever will one day find these videos and go, right, I get him, I understand him and stuff like that. So that's why just now I'm not going to put a link to it. You can find it, live discussion with the one and only Film Gob with Chris Swenson. But for me, I'm going to just film it and hand a wee bit over this video to them, which is basically saying what I've been saying all along.
That's good. I mean, that means you're getting out there. You're actually out there irritating, annoying them. That's pretty cool. I thought that was kind of cool. And then, I mean, that must be, I mean, you must have really thick skin. Like, I chose to ignore all the trolling, and I've seen that, and I know that Marvel fans are a lot, I don't know what it is, but it's just that they start making up all their own stuff where they get triggered really easily. like you seen that tweet that John Aaron did about how Batman v Superman? It was just a simple tweet where it's the Trinity fighting Doomsday. It looks similar to the three heroes in Endgame, and he wasn't even targeting anybody. He just said it, and they found him, and they were trashing him like crazy. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like he's just using it in a way.
Yeah, I decided to tweet out something similar just a few hours ago, so we'll see what happens there.
I saw that. I retweeted it.
It's true, because if you go by with what happened with Civil War, Infinity War, and with what BVS was and what was going to happen in Justice League and Zack Snyder's original plans for Justice League. Yeah, I think unfortunately the kind of masses out there, and you know, I had to go to a family get together recently, just a few days ago, and there was someone there who is a friend of my brother's, and he has a kid, and his kid is a Marvel fanboy. I was like, he said some things that you only hear on the internet, and I was actually hearing this in real life. I could not believe it. What he said about yes, yeah, I call it Marvelitis.
Oh my! And it's a kid, so you can't really say much. But it's a kid that says that, so is their mentality adults? I don't know. I'm not sure, but that's really funny. In terms of that, my concentration, but someone says Roxy. Oh, Roxy, that's her name. Yeah, Roxy. Yeah, she's a low-level hooded rat. Yeah, but yeah, that's right. I was wanting to ask you. People have talked about how is it possible that Zack Snyder's ideas and how you said how and this BVS Civil War, that's dead giveaway. And you think do you think that's actually like Justice League, like from what we heard of Justice League 1 and 2 or 3, from like Jeff Johns was the Snake or something? Do you believe in that?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see elements in Infinity War and Endgame that sound very similar to what Snyder and Jim Lee had planned, according to what Kevin Smith said. Mm-hmm. And then, like, if you've ever read, like, not read, but if you've ever listened to Mr. West Ashley, his podcast, the Go Deep podcast.
Oh, I've heard one of them, yeah, but I haven't had time to listen to them all.
So he goes like really. I know people are going to be say, oh, it's conspiracy theories and it's reaching and things like that.
Yeah.
But like me and I think his name is Philly Swain. We've kind of grown up with. Yeah. So we've kind of grown up with. You know, governments, conspiracies, and technology, and you know, all these things that changed human history in a way. I know this is going to go. It's like it's way out there for someone who's not grown up with that kind of background. But you know, with what Mr. West actually kind of goes into in this podcast and the Go Deep podcast, you can kind of see because what he's saying is Zack Snyder was trying to see things in BBS and all these movies that kind of relate to kind of real world science and conspiracies and things like that.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers were like, we don't want to show these things in our movies. Mm-hmm. So that's one reason. Maybe you've got people like Diane Nelson, I heard, and Jeff Johns, whoever. Kind of moving away from that, and maybe whoever leaked this information to Marvel Studios and the leaked script for BVS and Justice League plans, they took that and they kind of watered it down quite considerably. Because if you watch Endgame, like it is very kind of hollow. Like I mean, I can see that about a lot of Marvel movies, but like Thanos, he's a nothing character in this movie.
Yeah,
Like
because
they were,
the Infinity War version, he died.
mm,
Yeah.
and then what you're left with in this Endgame, it felt like a giant epilogue to Infinity War. So and I was just thinking, Zack Snyder, Chris Terrio, they spent so much time before BBS released, for Justice League Parts 1 and 2. The script would have been airtight. They would have had their version of time travel and alternate timelines, things like that. If you take someone else's idea of time travel and all that multiverse stuff, and you start changing it about, obviously you're going to have plot holes and that you've not kind of thought of, or kind of dismissed in a way. So I think that's what they're kind of waking up to. Or everyone at Marvel Studios, they're like, oh, maybe we should have spent a bit more time on this.
Right. Get that board out with add the lines, the strings to make it even match even better. Things like that. No, I totally agree. I know that for me, Endgame was a part they're trying to end it, and part just a huge fan service for the Marvel fanboys. It's like, hey, thanks for coming, thanks for watching 22 of our movies. Where's the 21? I forget. And we're going to show you a little bit of each character because that's our fan service to you. It may not make sense, but you love these guys anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And they just want to. It's like a series finale to a giant TV show, and I think that's most of the reason why people showed up to that. But
we'll wait and see how much these characters mean to the fans, because Falcon. Who cares about Falcon as Captain America?
Yeah.
Like even Bucky. Like if they had given Bucky the shield, right? What has he done in these past two movies? Nothing.
Yeah,
like
he barely
was he was such a big part of Civil War, right?
Right.
And then after that, he's kind of forgotten about it. So, like, whether they gave the shield to Bucky or Falcon is kind of meaningless. No one, I'm sure, obviously MCU fanboys will praise anything, but I doubt very much that people care about these two characters.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling, too, that after this new phase, depending what they're going to do, it's not going to have the same impact as this one. I think because their favorites are mostly gone, except for maybe Thor. I don't know if Thor's going to work out. Is going to get skinny again. I don't know. But is he still going to be, the Big Lebowski? I don't know. But but I see that the time, and the people keep saying they stole it, and you can actually kind of see that, because when you hear about Justice League 1, 2, 3, it was about the Steppenwolf. And then they take the fight to Apocalypse. So it's kind of like that first act was kind of like that. They took the fight to Thanos, right? To Thanos' homeland. Or actually, that was the third act. That was the other act in Infinity War, but also the first act in Endgame. And then later on, Darkseid takes the fight back to Earth, which is what happened. Thanos came with his army and came to Earth. So those things are similar, and the fact that I believe, from what my friends told me who are Marvel fans, Marvel does not have a multiverse, right? They have maybe side stories and here and there, but that idea of multiverse is a DC thing, and they decided to throw that into Marvel, and then I thought that was kind of interesting. At the same time, like, wow, they really went there. Like they tried to beat this thing.
And the thing is, like, they made a scene out of shitting all over other time travel films. Like, when the War Machine starts going, Back to the Future, and Bill and Ted is like, what? Like all these kind of references. And not only do they crap on those movies, Then they go and give you an idea of time travel that a lot of people are saying this doesn't make any sense. So at least stick to they come up. People say time travel isn't real, right?
Right.
Obviously, not in the Hollywood sense, it's not real. But again, if you read up on what scientists have been doing with the CERN, stuff, and the collider, and hadron collider, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the scientists talk about we are living in a what do you call it, a holographic reality, that kind of thing.
Right.
So different frequencies, different timelines. So yeah, it's like, sure, time travel isn't real in the Hollywood sense, but if you're going to come up with a concept for your movie, it needs to make sense. It needs to kind of relate to some kind of real world science. So they didn't kind of follow through on that, and yeah, like you say, they are cramming in kind of multiverse ideas from DC, and now everyone's finding out that Marvel Studios. Everyone says, "Oh, they had a time, they had a plan." No, they didn't. Like, it is so much. They give so much credit to Kevin Feige about, oh, he had this all mapped out, just because they showed Thanos at the end of Avengers, they still changed Captain America: Serpent Society to Civil War after BVS was announced.
Right.
So, and the Russo brothers admitted to that. So.
Right. Oh my God! You mentioned that Serpent Society. When I mentioned that, man, I had a lot of Marvel fans come at me. I remember that on Twitter, like, there's like, no, that was just a fake. That's a fake title to hide the real movie. Why would they have a fake title?
Exactly, they announced it, right?
Yeah.
It's a Captain America story. It's a Captain America storyline,
right?
And it's continuing on. What happened with Winter Soldier. So why would it be fake?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. They go with whatever the media tells them, and the media was. You should have seen how they reacted. Oh, that was just a joke. It was just Kevin Feige joking around. Like, no.
Yeah, they ate that up, didn't they? They really, really ate that up. Man, yeah. And then the whole. And it's funny you said about the time travel and how they think about the science of time. I like how. You heard the was it BVS? Yeah, the BVS panel where Zack Snyder talked about his Justice League, where he talked about time, how they really thought about how the Earth's rotation had to be at that right point where he would come, and he thought about that science, put that science back into there, and in this one they're kind of like just they made up their own science, they explain it away and says, yeah, that's our science. So believe it or not, but then they don't even like. They're not even consistent with that science. They just, well, who cares about plot holes? This is Avengers Endgame. Come and watch your movie.
This is Professor Hulk. He's joking about, and his time travel. He's messing about with time travel, and he's bringing back baby Ant-Man, and this guy. I would really trust this guy with time travel.
Right, I know. But how does his suit get smaller? But I don't know, whatever. That was really just for the joke. There was like zero. I know Neil deGrasse Tyson already tweeted about Thanos, about if he had the power to snap half away, shouldn't he have the power to double the resources? And Marvel fanboys really attacked him about that. But I wanted him to come back with something about time.
Right, so you could watch it all yourself. I just thought I wanted a wee bit of that to the page. It starts off about a guy tweeting about how the ending of the movie was quite similar to the ending of BVS. And then that guy getting totally, even though it was a compliment for the Marvel film, people just hated on him to compare it to BVS and stuff like that, which was actually a compliment. But no, they two guys, they do the research. I mean, the amount of stuff and the videos that they track down, they should be on the level peg with things like Collider and stuff like that. They should be up there because at least they're taking And again, you could say, oh, those are biased views, but these are two guys that have went out to see the film Endgame, whereas myself, I'll not see the Endgame. It's already been spoiled for me, even though I can't really call it spoiled because I couldn't really give a toss. And you could say it's just because I'm biased. No, it's just because I don't care for the universe. I gave it a go and I just didn't like it. I couldn't get into it. I'd seen Man of Steel and BVS, and those were the heroes. Those were the sort of film types I wanted to see, and for me, it's Marvel's taking the mockery out of the heroes, and for some of the Marvel fans that I've had discussions with, and it's the characters you see on screen, especially for me, for Spider-Man Homecoming. Seriously, get a grip. That is not Spider-Man. And you could say the same for Man of Steel or Batman and BVS, but it gave you an explanation why they were like that, and why, give or take a couple of films later on, they would have became the heroes that you all knew. But everybody out there was just too in a hurry to see the cheesiness, you know. But now we're getting a lot of people saying, we would have loved, you know, this is the time, you know, that BVS and Man of Steel would have really, really struck a chord, because we all got what the DC universe was going to go towards, and the fact that they talk about the multiverse and how they're sort of using that. Seriously, this is what gets me. A lot of the population of the Earth now will think that the multiverse is Marvel's idea. So no matter what DC does now with their Justice League, and even if they were to release the Snyder Cut, and you'll still get those people that believe that Marvel came up with the idea first. And this is why I'm a vigilante. This is why I'd like to, you know, put my two fingers up to those people that don't do the research, you know. And two fingers up to myself, because I'm only going what I think and feel, right? The research isn't there. These guys do the research for you, and that's why they deserve top billing. Well, this is DC Vigilante out. Thank you very much, and check out the page on Facebook.